Alright guys, I'm laying in my recliner and I have over here on this computer screen my third JQC complaint about to file with my, I don't know, 8th or ninth motion to recuse the judge, which is asking the judge to step down because she's biased and violating my constitutional rights under the 6th Amendment and other amendments, and she's violated seven of the Florida canons, which are like the rules of the Judicial Committee that she agrees to abide by when she becomes a judge. This judge is a totally corrupt rogue judge named Holly N. Derenthal in Osceola County in the Kissimmee Courthouse. And I'm calling for her disbarment, and which means basically to be fired, her impeachment. I'm asking the public to put pressure on Governor DeSantis publicly and the media and everybody else to get rid of this judge. This judge is rogue, does not belong a judge. She has totally violated all my constitutional rights, refuses to step down. We have the right to a fair judge as U.S. citizens. We have the right to a fair jury. We have a right to a fair hearing and a fair trial. She is not being fair. She's biased. She's in bed with Jennifer Jane Watson and Sarah Vance, the two state-funded attorneys that work with her every day in the courthouse for decades, even when she was a lawyer, before she was a judge. She has a clear conflict of interest that she denies, and she keeps denying my motions to recuse. But this is how you deal with a judge like this, folks. Don't be scared of them. Go to the public. Go to the media. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. If she puts me in jail, it's okay. I'll get a jury trial. A jury's going to see right through it. I'm not guilty. I'm not scared of this judge at all. I am not. Don't be scared of these corrupt officials in government. She just put my children in grave danger with a prostitute, a drug addict prostitute, okay? You're going to read all about it. Anyways, let me read you the JQC complaint that I'm about to file. And this is all going to be part of my federal lawsuit in federal court as well, folks. Hold on one second. Okay, folks, before I read this JQC complaint, it's the third one, I'm going to also read you in other videos JQC complaint 2, JQC complaint 1. And I want to let you know, I may file 50 of these things. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop until my civil and constitutional rights stop being violated, and my children's. This judge needs to get off my cases, step aside, and start railroading me and my kids being biased. So here's JQC complaint number 3, yeah? And from now on, every court motion, every complaint, every letter to the governor is going to be read publicly, posted all over the internet with Judge Holly Derenthal's name all over it. Well, to add to my last 2 JQC complaints, this makes the third now. And this time, Holly N. Derenthal has completely violated not only my rights, but my children's rights, and removed my 4-year-old daughter and 5-year-old son from the safe environment in school with me and my 12-year-old and fiance and our newborn 3-month-old baby brother, their newborn baby brother, where they were happy and healthy. And Judge Derenthal placed them with my drug-addicted adult movie star prostitute from a whorehouse in Thailand wife that has no car, no license, no family in the USA, or even friends other than her adult movie star fans and prostitution clients. It's well documented with the courts that she not only brings the children around, but lets my daughter sleep in bed with them, transports them without car seats, leaves the children in the crack house across the street with her best friend, drug addict and drug trafficker, Michelle Gillen, and on and on and on. By the way, look in the Osceola County court records and look that woman up. She's just one arrest of many was child neglect, possession of cocaine, possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia, and DCF. Jessica Scott, Kendra Jenkins, and Shane Henry left my kids in that house and lied and say they background checked them. That's another lawsuit. That's another video. Anyways, Judge Holly Derenthal seriously overstepped her power and used her anger and clear bias and hatred towards me, against me, to hurt my children after 8 motions to recuse now, showing her all my JQC complaints, letters to the governor, intent to sue her and her judge's assistant in federal court for violation of my constitutional rights, and on and on and on. So let me explain that, folks. Just the fact that I'm attacking this judge legally all over the place with complaints to the governor, to the JQC committee in Washington, D.C., all this stuff, and I've shown it to her in motions telling her, demanding she step down, is proof that she's biased against me. But she's a hard-headed, stubborn woman that can't admit she's wrong, with her panties in a bunch, throwing a fit like a 4-year-old and attacking me and my children, that she needs to step down. Let me keep reading. And this is why no woman should ever be a judge. I had to deal with the same shit with the last woman. I've had 2 male judges that were completely fair. I've had 2 females. She's the second one that has done this shit. Females should not be family court judges, folks. Let me keep reading. After the mother was caught... Oh, wait. Before I read that, I got one more thing in my head I want to tell you. For those of you that disagree with my statement, there was 14 females in the courtroom, and I was by myself on the other side, pro se as my own lawyer, the only male in the courtroom other than the bailiff. You think that's fair? You think that should go on? And every single female in that courtroom, including the judge, is a compulsive liar that was against me, that has committed fraud, perjury, and everything else from all these government agencies, and they all have one thing in common. They're all funded by your tax money, and they're corrupt. Every single one of them. Let me keep reading. After the mother was caught abusing our young children yet again, and male Judge Schnoor granted me an injunction on behalf of my children, Hawley then set the final injunction hearing for the temporary injunction I had against the mother on behalf of the children on Friday afternoon, right before the court closes, and a weekend was coming, not giving me enough time allowed to serve subpoenas properly through the sheriff, as they require 10 days, and then ignored my motions to continue and played a dirty game colluding with DCF and other government officials to ruin me in this hearing, including her friends, which are my wife's corrupt lawyers that are well-connected, taxpayer-funded Help Now Shelter, IFP, Injunction for Protection, lawyers Jennifer Jane Watson and Sarah Vance. These 2 scumbags work in that courthouse with her every day, are the most corrupt, connected sons of bitches in our county, okay? They're connected with everybody from DCF, Help Now, Women's Shelter, a corrupt daycare church school where they put kids and attack fathers, and on and on and on. The child protection team, the sheriff's office. These 2 women, I just filed 2 civil personal lawsuits against them. They need to be disbarred and fired. Let me keep going. Judge Hawley had ordered at the previous hearing that DCF and CPT be present at the hearing, and that CPT turn over the child forensic videotapes and give them to me and have time to review them and prepare for my case. Never happened. CPT violated the order and never turned over the tapes. And even though I even filed separate subpoenas, 3 DCF employees, and I served them, and they got served, they refused to come to court, and no one from DCF was present in the courtroom. DCF's running and hiding from me because they know I'm going to put them on the stand and rip them apart, show all their lies and perjury and everything else, slander and libel. They know I'm going to sue them too, so they don't want to come in the courtroom near me. Hawley denied all my motions to allow child hearsay based on Florida statutes that allow it when a person has heard from a child about abuse or neglect, even though I have a child counselor that has been counseling the children for over a year now and has written 4 full reports on abuse and even had to report it to DCF. Hawley denied those reports to come into evidence, denied a motion also for her to testify, denied countless motions for others to testify, including people I had outside the courtroom waiting to testify, including even my neighbors and my fiance, by the way, that has mothered the children more than the real mother for the last year and loves the children more than the real mother. Anyways, she then proceeded, hold on, that's spelled wrong. She then proceeded to have someone testify from CPT and what I believe was commit perjury and allowed them to testify, child hearsay, saying that our son never said mom was twerking naked, making adult videos in front of the children, and say she was not abusing my daughter. That's both a lie, because I have Detective Suzanne Clichette on video on my YouTube and all over the internet on my social media accounts. You can go look, stating that was there in the interview that my kids did say this stuff was going on. I have on video not only a detective that was present at the children's interviews after the interview telling me what they uncovered, which was just that, of our son saying, quote, he said mommy did shake her butt when she was naked and said she was making a video, end quote. This is the detective that was in the hearing in CPT. Where's the videos? The judge ordered the videos. Judge refuses to make them turn them over now because they're covering all the fucking abuse up. Again, watch this. When I said he is terrified of mom and mom has told him he's going to be in big trouble, end quote. And she said, quote, well, when they asked him, are you afraid of anybody? He said he is afraid of mom, and they said, why? And he said, well, like a monster or scary movies or monster nightmares. That's what he said, like a monster or a nightmare. The video, with hundreds more, documenting the abuse and Holly's and Derenthal's unbelievable misconduct, I am now placing all over the internet publicly and gaining a lot of public support and calling for her impeachment because she needs to be fired and not be able to do other families what she has done to mine. I am also calling for the investigation and disbarment of corrupt, compulsive, lying IFP Help Now Shelter, well-connected lawyers Jennifer Jane Watson and Sarah Vance that I have a current lawsuit against personally for all their libel and lies and filling DCF reports with false allegations against me. Here is one of the many videos on many sites that is getting public attention that Judge Derenthal knew from my motions, and I told her in the courtroom I had, and she not only refused to see it or place it into evidence, but when I told her I believed the CPT witness was lying because I had video of the detective that was at the interview saying different, and I wanted to see the CPT videotapes, which she had ordered, to prove they were lying again and covering for my wife's abuse again. She denied it, even though she already ordered them to turn over the videotapes a month ago. And I put a link to a TikTok video of the detective talking about and the stuff I just quoted her saying. I will be getting a copy of the hearing and send it to you as well. Even though I did what any responsible father would do after getting a Talking Parents message on the Talking Parents app we're ordered to talk on that the court can monitor, but they don't. Our son was over-sexualized and pulling his penis out and humping the furniture, knowing mom does this in front of him, and then I took him to see the child's counselor. That's what a responsible parent would do if the other parent's accusing. Take the kid to get serious mental help and evaluation. That's what I did. I took him to see the child's counselor on video, and after uncovering the mother's sexual abuse, I then demanded a CPT forensic interview be done on the children. And then Judge Derenthal turned it on me and accused me of the crazy off-the-wall insanity that I had made all this up and it was all a lie. That's what she did after she covered everything. Yeah, I guess my family, my friends, my neighbors, the counselors, and everyone else that Judge Derenthal refused to hear, they're all lying. Judge Derenthal's not, right? Yeah, sure. Typical woman comment, she's wrong. She also accused me of coaching the children and read a bunch of lies, libel, and slander and perjury that CPI Jessica Scott had put into a DCF report that the judge only knew about because I told her I was filing suit about it in one of my motions, and the judge knew it. And all the lies, I have already proved lies in front of the judge in front of Judge Madrigal at a hearing in my divorce case. She then proceeded to read the motion to show cause because of Jessica Scott's lies that I had also mentioned in my motions. But when I asked her to read the outcome of the hearing where Judge Diego Madrigal at the hearing apologized and said he should have known better, as he finds DCF to be a widely incredible and unorganized organization, and how he dismissed the contempt hearing and reset our motion that was first denied now to a hearing, Judge Hawley shut me down. She kept going, "You're out of order, you're out of order, you're out of order," and kept shutting me up. I mean, seriously, this narcissist, man-hating judge that can't admit she is wrong, that was, by the way, colluding with 14 other females in the courtroom. I was the only other male involved in the case other than the bailiff. This is crazy. She is allowed to be a judge. Take note, all my motions, complaints to the JQC, the governor, and more, exposing all the colluding, corrupt, compulsive, lying females, I put in big letters, around my compulsive, lying prostitute wife. And remember, Holly Derenthal is a female. And all my court motions are attacking all the females around her. Compulsive, lying, man-hating, feminist females, because that's what every single one of them, she's like 50 of them that all collect taxpayer money in different government agencies. It's ridiculous, folks. There's not one male against me, not one male on her side, other than her cuck boyfriend and her little prostitution clients. According to lawyers, I have spoke to Judge Derenthal. According to lawyers, I have spoke to Judge Derenthal also. Then Judge Derenthal overstepped her authority as this was a hearing where I was the petitioner and the other side didn't request any of this she ordered below, and she shouldn't have done it. And as she then orders me into a psychiatric evaluation and makes a pickup order for the mother to pick up the kids from the school, and then orders me to have a supervised visitation and makes an order for the mother to remove the kids from their school they go to with my full custody daughter, which is their 12-year-old sister, and give my wife full 100% power to do whatever she wants with the kids. Even though I argued that there was a current court order in place from Judge Madrigal stating, quote, "The party shall not engage in producing any adult content during their time sharing with the children," end quote. Because we had played in the courtroom videos of my wife twerking in thongs online for money while she had the children, and I complained to the previous judge about the children telling me she was doing these things in front of them, which I also have tons of video of the children saying this stuff, and I'm releasing now online. Now, I've been reporting this to the courts and the government for over a year now, and that court order was made back in November of last year, almost a year ago, okay? There was also an order that, quote, "The party shall not leave the children with a third party other than the daycare or daycare teacher." Because I had proved, and by the way, they only mentioned that because she committed perjury and lied and said the daycare teacher was coming to the house babysitting the kids. And she said that's who was babysitting the kids in the hearing, which I found out later, no, it was one of her porn fan prostitution clients babysitting my 3-year-old daughter and 4-year-old son at the time. But she committed perjury and lied. The daycare had never been to the house and never babysit the kids. Let me continue. Because I had proved in the court also that my wife has no car license and was also leaving the children in the crack house with the crackhead drug trafficker, Michelle Gillen, her best friend that she calls mother and lives across the street, that she smokes drugs with, in front of the children, by the way, that has a long criminal arrest record for not only drugs, but even child neglect across the street. That is her best friend she calls mom, and leaves the kid there, and also leaving the kids to be babysat by her other druggies and her prostitution clients and adult movie fans. And even though I reminded Judge Derenthal about all of this, she didn't care and threw all of Judge Magical's orders and put my children in danger and gave her free reign to do whatever she wants. I'm going to see my kids in 3 days. They're probably covered in bruises and scratches and injuries. They're being left in the crack house. Her porn fans and porn prostitution clients are babysitting the children. This is sick, folks. She disregarded everything a previous judge has ordered. She didn't want to see any of the evidence against my wife. This is sick, folks. This woman does not belong being a judge. It's not just my children. Imagine what she's doing to other men's children, putting them in danger. This is sick, folks. Children are going to get seriously injured because of this judge. I even told her that when the kids get hurt, because she has placed them in a very dangerous situation, it would be on her hands, but she didn't care. Because she saw the compulsive lying females around her that work with her in that courthouse in DCF, and her IFP, Injunction for Protection Attorneys, and all the rest of them that were funded by your tax money through Help Now. They're all a bunch of liars. They don't care. The women that won't admit they're wrong, they don't care about children. Also, my wife is the one that is mentally unstable and was Baker acted by police for attempted suicide, and it's all in motions and petitions. The mother has made threats to kill the children and kill herself if she doesn't get her way, and it's all in the petition. My original petition, I stated everything, and I provided proof of a lot of the allegations, including videos on YouTube and everywhere else. But those are inadmissible in court. Yeah, sure. Child hearsay. But when they want to lie and commit perjury, then child hearsay is allowed. But don't get the videos. Don't show the videos. Have proof. No, no, no. The CPT videos. My daughter even testified in front of a jury at the criminal case that my wife had me falsely arrested, that I got not only all not guilties by the jury, that my wife would physically abuse, by the jury, that my wife would physically abuse her. It's supposed to say my daughter. Hold on, this is written wrong. But yeah, my daughter. It does talk about my daughter. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm skipping around. My wife would physically abuse her and hurt herself, going nuts, and also smashing things and breaking plates and throwing knives, almost hurting the children many times, and I would have to restrain her. And I put the transcript from the trial in many motions and in the courtroom. But Judge Derenthal denied to admit or aid into evidence or look at it. Any proof that my wife is wrong, crazy, abusive, nope, we can't see that. We can't admit that. Cover that up. Silence that. Shut up. Don't talk about that. That's what Judge Derenthal did. Another thing Judge Derenthal did was lie in an argument with me. It says agreement. That's better. With me, where I stated facts that some previous cases that had nothing to do with my wife from when I was 18 years old, over 25 years ago, and 15 years before our marriage, that her corrupt lawyers had put into the judicial notice to bias the court, which is illegal. There's something in law, and they're mandated by the Florida bar and the rule regulations that say you can only bring previous cases that have to do with lying and committing perjury into the court against the other party. So this was completely irrelevant bullshit that they weren't allowed to bring in, but they did anyway to bias the court. And that's why they're not allowed to do it, because it biased the court and the jury of irrelevant garbage. Especially for stuff that, like, people were arrested for things and the charges were dropped, or false accusations made against somebody. You know, you can't bring that stuff in. And they did. Holly just kept reading the BS and placing on the record as relevant, saying it was relevant. There were also cases in there from one of my well-known nutbag online stalkers and her family that were never even served because I, at the time, didn't even live in the United States, the USA, and I had not stepped foot here for 10 years. But Holly lied and said they had to do with my wife and put them on court record. This judge is a compulsive liar, folks, just like every woman around my wife. And she's a judge. Disgusting, to say the least. This is my JQC complaint. This is the Judicial Committee's going to get this complaint about her. The third one. So now, even though the young children have been been living here with us pretty much full time for around 6 months now, and we're in a great school with their older sister. By the way, I drive them and pick them up from school every day, and I used to drop my 3 kids in the morning, pick up my daughter from VPK from that school at 11:30, drive back home, then drive back to pick up the other 2 kids at 3:30. Yeah, I'm such a bad dad. Drive back and forth from the school 3 times a day, every day, expensive uniforms, pack their lunch, get them, dressed and ready for school every day with my fiance, and then after school take them to water parks and amusement parks here in Orlando and Universal and Disney and all this stuff. Yeah, I'm such a bad dad. Yeah, I need a psychiatric evaluation. No, these fucking women do. School with their older sister I have here. Now we don't have them here at home and can't even have contact with them or know how they are. But what's funny is I have my full custody daughter here. They can't touch her. And I also have my newborn and my fiance. If I was such a fucking danger to any child, why am I allowed around my other children? They're full of fucking shit. They're just colluding and siding with my wife. And they did this to give her the kids back. Again. Like Jessica Scott sworn affidavit under penalty of perjury, calling me all that shit full of libel and lies. And that fraudulent TICO order they got, where they gave to her the 2 children back, and when I threatened to sue them, they gave me my daughter back. Because there's never been any abuse or any even inclination that there's any danger around me and any child, let alone my own kids. It's all been bullshit. And every time it's been unfounded. It's all the DCF reports, all the false, fraudulent DCF reports that her corrupt lawyers have filled full of libel and slander about me. It's all been unfounded, every case. There's like 8 of them. Anyways, let me keep reading. I made a video about the matter, which I will be making many more till Holly and Derenthal is held legally accountable and removed, and my children are out of the danger and back with us. This is a sad and disgusting, to say the least, that this narcissist judge is allowed to even have the power to do this to families and ruin children's lives and place kids in danger like this with no grounds. Because it's not only my kids, folks. Imagine how many other kids she's doing this to. And you know what's fucked up? She has like unlimited immunity. When one of these kids ends up dead or something because she's put them in danger, oh well, she can't be sued. But you know what? I'm pursuing a federal lawsuit against this judge in federal court for violating my constitutional rights. We'll see how it goes. Now, take a look. Now I take you to my campaign to impeach Holly Derenthal at linktr.ee/victim of the system of women. And I give them a link, which includes all the links to a GoFundMe and also petitions. And I give a link to my change.org petition where I'm calling for her impeachment of Holly and Derenthal, Osceola County, Kissimmee Courthouse. Please help me get a non-biased, fair judge ASAP so I can at least file a motion to reconsider before I am forced to file an appeal that could take years and be very costly, but must be done if justice is not served. Also note, Holly is on my divorce case, and she set an upcoming hearing for it where I'm sure she is planning to try and bury me there also. By the way, folks, the other side has put a motion to put me in contempt and refer to the state prosecutor for felony 3 criminal charges for filing false reports to DCF, when exactly her and her lawyers and everybody around the system have been doing to me for over a year. I've never filed a false report. Everything I've said is factual, and there's evidence there. It's, filing a false police report, again, all the evidence is there. I've never done that. They have. I got a not guilty in front of a jury. They have me falsely arrested. And also committing perjury. That's all they've done is commit perjury. I've never committed perjury. So in my motion, in my response, I challenged the judge. I said, go ahead and do it. Because I'm going to get a jury trial. I'm going to get a not guilty. I'm going to sue you for it. I'm done. I'm done playing games. I ain't scared of these little cowardly women that do nothing but compulsively lie anymore. So you know what? Do whatever you think you got to do. You ain't going to beat me.